Hi everyone, it's Linnea here for ThermOWeb, and I'm going to create a duo of cards for Valentine's Day or really any time of the year. And I'm going to be using some toner sheets from ThermOWeb. So I have the Love Blooms toner sheets, and these are the A2 size, and I have it in both white and craft. I had both of these in my craft room, and I thought if I was going to make one, I might as well make two. I had this idea in my head. I have this new Pink and Main die. This is the Heart Spotlight die, and I went back and forth between die cutting the actual toner sheets and die cutting a piece of paper to go on top. And I couldn't decide which just by laying it out on top of each other, so I decided to go ahead and just foil this toner sheet since I knew I would be foiling it whichever way I decided to design my card. Whenever I am working with foiling toner sheets, there's a couple things that I like to do. I like to make sure that my toner sheet is nice and clean. Your fingers, even if you've just washed them, they have natural oils in them. So I like to give my toner sheet a nice wipe with a microfiber cloth or a Swiffer duster cloth, something that's not going to leave behind any kind of extra dust or residue. Then I like to preheat my laminator so it's nice and hot. I put my foil on, and this time I use Pink Melon Deco foil. You want to make sure that that is pretty side up and run that through your laminator using ThermOWeb Deco foil parchment paper. I went ahead and I used that Pink and Main Heart Spotlight die, and I cut that out of white cardstock. And I really liked the look of layering that over top instead of cutting directly into the toner sheets. So that's the look that I went for. And I knew I wanted to add a nice little sentiment. And I wanted it to be kept simple because I really wanted those Love Blooms toner sheets to be the spotlight of my card. I grabbed the Simon Says Stamp You Are Loved die, and this is a two-piece die. It has the sentiment and the backer. And I decided to go ahead and foil the sentiment just to add a little bit of extra shine. So I'm taking a piece of Deco foil toner. This is just a full sheet of printed toner, so you can add foil to this. Same thing, I wiped that off with my microfiber cloth. This time I added gold Deco foil, again foiling pretty side up, ran that through my laminator using parchment paper, and now I can die cut this. This is going to give me my foiled sentiment. You can do this using double-sided adhesive as well, but I really like the nice and clean look that you get foiling the toner. I'm going to pop out all the little pieces here, and I'm being careful to keep the inside pieces of both of the O's and U and loved because there's little hearts in the middle that I'm going to pop up in the center. But check that out. Now I have a nice foiled sentiment. I cut that backer from white cardstock, but it was really covering up too much of that toner sheet background, and I didn't like that. So I changed and I cut that out of vellum. I wanted to have some dimension behind my sentiment, but this sentiment, the lettering is really tiny. So it was going to be almost impossible to cut tiny strips of foam tape to fit behind the letters. So when I have a die that's really delicate and intricate like that, I use this trick. I take my heaviest weight cardstock, so this is about 120-pound cardstock, and I'm just going to cut 4 extra pieces. So I have 4 white You Are Loved die cuts here, and I'm using my iCraft Ultra Bond liquid adhesive pen to add tiny little dots of adhesive on top of these letters. And I glued 4 white heavyweight pieces together, and then I'm going to go ahead and add my foiled piece on top. The toner sheet or the toner paper rather, that I foiled and die cut for the sentiment is thinner than regular cardstock, so having this built up behind it adds nice dimension, and you don't have to worry about cutting tiny little pieces of foam tape. Then I'll add that Pink and Main Heart Spotlight die on top. I love how this white on white with the white Love Blooms toner sheet looks, but I love how the white pops off of that craft as well. So here's what I was saying before, those tiny little hearts that are inside of the O's. I'm going to grab a little tiny foam square, and I do need to cut this down. You could do that same trick with layering them if you want to, but this was a little bit bigger, so I had no problem cutting up an iCraft 3D foam square and sticking that behind there and adding that right in the center so that those little hearts had dimension as well. All that's left to do now to finish up these cards is to add tiny little drops of adhesive using my iCraft Ultra Bond liquid adhesive pen at the back of the vellum, and I'm hiding that adhesive behind my letters, and I'm going to add that right onto that heart on that spotlight die, and these two cards are finished. I'd love to know which one is your favorite, the craft or the white background. Thanks so much for watching this video. I'll see you guys again soon. Bye!